All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Trading the Markets with your host, Vays, and a special friend today. My friend Mike goes by the name Bitcoin Shooter, who's a filmmaker. Before anyone gets any ideas on his name, we are dealing with this anarcho-capitalist crypto space. Mike, we have crossed paths several times, not only at many conferences, but also hung out in LA, the People's Communist Republic of California. I've come through there a couple of times. You and I have met up, but you are a filmmaker, so California makes total sense. How you been? We're going to introduce Mike, and then I'm going to talk about the price, and then we're going to talk about some of his projects that he's working on that are super cool, including El Salvador and what else he's up to. So you definitely want to stick around. Love the Start 9 hat. Lots of friends that work there. They're a sponsor of the Unconfiscatable Conference. At least they were last year. Hopefully this year again. So how you been, man? How's life? How's 2023's been treating you? So far, it's infinitely better than 2022 was for most of us. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain. Film's always in demand, and so everything's been good. But yeah, I appreciate it, and hanging with you has always been great. And as you know, you are a big part of the reason why I'm a Bitcoiner. The person who orange pilled me, you orange pilled, and so yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on the show, and I look forward to talking about what I've done and what I'm planning on doing.
Oh, wait. Oh, man. Sorry, we're going to go to screen share. With Mike here, so he was watching my videos. Well, the person at Orange Pill, him was watching my videos as well. But his interests were always more of my views on Bitcoin itself. So we're talking about the news shows, my views on non-Bitcoin stuff. All his links are in the video description. We're going to go through them one more time. But you can follow him on Twitter. I think you'll be able to break 4,000 followers today. We do have 100 people watching. So go ahead, guys. I want to refresh this. I want to see a few followers on Mike's Twitter. All right, a quick look at the price. This is why most people tune in. So I'm not going to deprive you guys of that. So the weekly chart is exactly where we're expecting it to be, slowing down and struggling to break 25,000. We are back under 24,000. I am expecting a bit of a pullback over the next few weeks. We could hit that $25,000 mark. I would be surprised if we break right through it and go higher. So I am looking for either consolidation or a bit of a pullback. We talked about this 4-day chart as it's hitting the MRI top. Still have 2 days in current candle. It's an MRI top candle. I am 40. This thing went up way too far, way too fast. I hate chasing, so I did not add to my bullish position, but I do plan to do so on a pullback. Real quick at the daily chart. The daily chart is consolidating very nicely, but it's consolidating in a slight upwards trend. A lot of people refer to this kind of stuff as a wedge. I don't really care for wedges, but normally consolidations at the top lead to more upside eventually. But right now I am a little bit skeptical because of the weekly resistance and how far the daily chart is above all its moving averages. So once again, I am anticipating a bit of a pullback before it goes higher. The hourly chart was starting to show a little bit of life an hour ago, and it has since pulled back, and now it does not look very good. So yes, it's very likely that the pullback towards 21K has started. GBTC discount continues to be very steep at 40%. As the bull market continues, that discount should be getting smaller. A lot of people didn't like my silver analysis the other day. Too bad. That is the right analysis. Oil, I am very looking forward to oil hitting an MRI buy next month, and that should be the reversal for oil. I remain bullish oil for the rest of the year, mostly for geopolitical reasons. Same thing with natural gas. I expect that to turn around sometime in a month or two as well. Gold took a big nosedive. I was very cautious on gold. I have no idea what caused this gold nosedive yesterday, because this thing was still bullish yesterday. And now it took a big hit. I was very cautious on gold. It did break resistance. It was looking good, but something wasn't right because it just wasn't acting properly in a correlated way. Now we just had a major pullback. Everyone's going to scream this is manipulation. Gold can't fall this much in 2 days. Yes, it can. But it's coming back to an area of support. So after all of these long trades got blown up, might be a nice long trade in gold sometime in a week or two. And finally, we have the S&P. Yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm sure silver got blew up a little bit bigger. So that's the problem. It's exactly what I talked about yesterday. You make a little more money on the way up, but then you get destroyed on the way down. So if you look at gold percent, right, from the top of this candle to the bottom of this candle, so 2 days ago. So we can go to the daily chart as well. So in the last 2 days, gold, well, I'm not going to cherry pick the high. I'm going to use the, you know what? No, let's cherry pick the high. From the very high to the very low, gold just fell just under 5%. Well, how did silver do in the last 2 days? Same thing. Comparing apples to apples, from the very high to the very low. Well, how about that? 9%, right? So that's what I mean. You make a little bit extra money on the way up and you get your face ripped off on the way down because silver just fell twice as much as gold did in 2 days. So this is why you stay away from silver and you just stick to gold. People are asking me what's gamma and delta. I can talk about it next week. Yeah, that was on the spaces. I can't believe Greg Foss went into that. So I spent about an hour talking about that. If you go to the tone, if you are interested in what gamma and delta are, I literally spend, this is a 3-day options course, and at least 2 hours is spent specifically talking about gamma and delta. They are the most important parts of knowing how to trade options. Gamma, delta, theta, vega, and then there's one more that nobody cares about, which is the interest rate. Motorist remembers running into you. All right, guys, let's get back to talking to the Bitcoin shooter, and then I'll get back to talk about the markets at the very end, because he did an incredible video about El Salvador called Comeback Country. And I'm gonna play it on mute a little bit, but tell us about this video. Tell us how it came about. You travel to these events, you travel to these conferences, you do a lot of work pro bono. You just show up with your camera, you do amazing videos, and then, oh, I got to get that poker one. Oh, man. All right. I can't believe I didn't preset that. All right. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play it on mute, and you tell us about it while I find one of the most awesome videos that he's made for me, because Mike was there at the Unconfiscatable poker tournament, and he did a super cool video. I'm going to go find it.
Yeah. So I visited El Salvador for the first time in November 2021. I had done a little bit of work for Max and Stacy. And so, yeah, I got invited out there with them, and, you know, I met the people and saw the country, and it was just so beautiful. And I had heard countless stories from the people about growing up in the country and how much it's changed, and you can just feel the hope there. So I felt really inspired to make something about the country, and I didn't know what exactly. And so I went back in May of 2022, and while I was there, I interviewed the hotel owner that I stay at Bitcoin Beach, and his story was beautiful. You know, he like most people, had a college degree and then moved overseas to Spain to find like professional work, since there really isn't too much opportunity in El Salvador. But he decided to come back and try to help his country, and his focus was on tourism and trying to bring new dollars into the country. And so I thought, That sounds good. Let me make a film about El Salvador, tell the history of the country, show where it's going now, and hopefully inspire people to go down there and visit and, help the economy down there. So that's how it kind of came about. I talked to lots of Salvadorans. I visited again this last November and I picked up a few more interviews. So what you see on the website right now is actually going to be updated a little bit with a few more really powerful interviews. So that's how that happened. And I mean, in terms of the pro bono stuff, the interesting thing is, I've been making film for businesses for 15 years. And that's really how it started is, I approach a business and that could be good for my portfolio. And I say, look, this is what I do. This is what I've done. And I'd like to make a video for you. I won't charge you. And that's kind of how I got into the Bitcoin space too. It's how I got linked up with Max and Stacy. I filmed their Fuck Elon show in Austin and the Fuck Elon show in Phoenix. And then same thing with you, Tone. I mean, that's how we connected. I wanted to produce something for you. I wanted to give you some appreciation back for, what you've done for me and through the orange pilling through my friend. That's how I connected with you. And that's how we hung out initially. And then, I made that unconfiscatable poker video. And, that's how Greg Foss became aware of me and a lot of other people too. So, that's kind of how it came about and how I got my, dip my toes into the Bitcoin space. And then now, you just meet so many cool people, so many cool Bitcoiners. And that's the biggest reason why I go to these events now is just to see my friends and to meet, more friends. That's kind of how I got where I am right now.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thanks for the overview on that. I want to play that the poker clip, and then we're going to talk about your latest project, guys. So definitely stick around, and then we're all going to talk about markets. So here it is. How am I going to do that? Actually, I have to switch screen shares. All right, let me switch screen shares. This was great. And most of you are going to recognize the audio in the background. It's freaking awesome. All right, hold on. Let me switch screen share real quick. We haven't released this yet. I'm waiting a little closer. I'm going to release it this summer, man. It was great, but I don't know if I'm going to get hit with a copyright if I release the audio to that one. So I may have to do it with music and not with the audio, but it's freaking great. Hold on, guys.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll work, man.
The game in question is No Limit Texas Hold'em. Minimum buy-in $25,000. A game like this doesn't come together often outside the casinos. The stakes attract rich flounders.
There's motorists.
Yeah.
No Limit Texas Hold'em is the Cadillac of poker. The key to the game is playing the man, not the cards. There's no other game in which fortunes can change so much from hand to hand. This is why the World Series of Poker is decided over a No Limit Hold'em table. Some people, pros even, won't play No Limit. They can't handle the swings. But there are others, like Doyle Brunson.
There's Greg Foss.
Yeah, that's lavish. I didn't even realize that until now. Cool.
Yeah, so that was super cool. And sure, those of you that didn't recognize the audio, that was from my favorite poker movie of all time, Rounders, though there is a very close second competitor. Molly's Game was a very, very close second best poker movie. All right, let me, I dropped the screen share.
Casino Royale's pretty good too, right?
Wouldn't really call it a poker movie. They were playing poker in it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I thought it was a little dicey. There was a show on ESPN a long time ago called Tilt. It was like the only drama they ever made, and it was about playing poker. It's probably going to be hard to find to watch it somewhere, but
yeah.
yeah. All right, so one more link for you guys. Oh wait, I have to go back to screen share real quick. Yeah, so Mike does have his own YouTube channel. He's not posting there anymore. He switched over to Rumble, but you can check out a couple of his older videos. I thought you had more stuff. I thought you used to like interview people. What happened to those videos?
I had another channel that I was doing for a little bit, Be Free with Bitcoin. I think I'm going to migrate them over. But hey, man, it's just been so busy. Like when the El Salvador film came out, like, so many people were talking to me about different ideas for filming different things. And then, I like rolled right into this next film that I'm working on. And so all the focus has been going there. That's why there's not a ton of stuff on this YouTube channel right now.
Oh, Motorist is right. That was Phil Locke. So Phil Locke does like to play in the unconfiscatable poker tournament. By the way, guys, that was the tournament. The video that you saw is from the unconfiscatable poker tournament. It is coming back. So sign up. It's 0.03 Bitcoin, and all the winnings get paid out in Bitcoin as well. 100 players, 3 Bitcoin prize pool. First place gets 1, and the other 2 Bitcoin will get split amongst the other 8 final table finishers. Okay. Another, let's talk about this last. You have an initiative for mostly Africa, I believe, where you match students' savings, a little volunteer project. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so this was an idea I was kind of kicking around for like 6 months. I thought, in developing countries, $5 or $10 means a lot more than it does to me. And so, I thought it would be cool if you can incentivize someone to take self-custody and start hodling by matching their savings under the condition that, hey, you can't spend it, right? The moment you spend it, I'm going to stop matching you. So the way I've done this so far is just a very, very simple implementation. So potential donors, people who are interested in matching the savings of a student, say in El Salvador through like Me Premier Bitcoin, or perhaps in Africa through Bitcoin Akasi, you can fill out the form at the bottom. And then we're currently lining up students right now. Me Premier Bitcoin is lining up some students. And what happens is, and this has been a little bit controversial between technical people, but it seems like it's fine. The students will be providing their XPub for this savings wallet to the donor. So the donor will be able to have a read-only wallet version of the saver's wallet. So they'll be notified anytime deposits come in, and more importantly, anytime anything gets withdrawn. So it gives the donor the confidence to know, okay, I'm helping someone save that's actually saving. Of course, the technical people right off the bat, sharing an XPub kind of rings alarm bells. But after talking to some of the most skeptical people, it seems like it's fine, given the donor won't know anything else about the saver other than the XPub. And when the student is done and they want to move the funds, they can do coin joins or different things to kind of obfuscate the privacy path. So anyway, yeah, so that's how that's working. And we're still lining up students right now. And then, we'll see we're just going slow. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, then, we'll kind of drum up some more support. And I imagine, we'll have more savers, and then we'll have more matchers, and then we'll have more savers. So it's just something I'm doing on the side, on top of a full schedule, on top of trying to make this film. But, this one saver is in the Philippines. She's part of the Bitcoin Island program with Bill out there, and she is a business owner. But, she never took self-custody, never generated seed words, never did any of that. But this is what pushed her over the edge to do that. So she learned about all these things, and now she's saving in Bitcoin, and I'm matching her personally. She's going to be the one that I'm matching. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's very interesting incentives, built around this idea.
Yeah, super cool. So you have 11 people ready to match other people's savings. Looks like a really great project to spread Bitcoin around the world. I always say, people always talk about, remember that first ever Bitcoin transaction, 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas? And everyone is like, oh, wow, what a stupid guy who paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. What people don't understand is that guy was Laszlo, who was literally dominating Bitcoin mining, because I think he either invented script mining when it went from GPU to from CPU to GPU, or he was one of the first miners, and he had so much Bitcoin, he would do anything to spread it around the world. He was more than happy to send 10,000 Bitcoin to someone who was actually interested in Bitcoin. And of course, these projects are a much lower scale now. It's now down to $10 instead of 10,000 Bitcoin, but the concept is still the same. The more Bitcoin spreads around the world, the better we all are with the Bitcoin that we are saving in our cold storage.
And this is teaching them a lot of lessons. She learned for the first time like what 12 words were, and that she could and she deleted the wallet and restored the wallet to make sure the funds were still there. Right? She deleted the wallet and imported an XPub so that it's a read only, like on her Blue Wallet, it's a read only wallet on her phone. So it's not a hot wallet. People can't spend it if they get her phone. She also understands that her personal information isn't being passed along, and that privacy is important in Bitcoin. If it's going to be worth more, you necessarily don't want people to know that you have it. So a lot of these weird things are getting baked into this, and they're learning this for the first time because they have to. So I mean, the pizza, like, that set the first price for Bitcoin. And it's funny because Bitcoin's designed so perfectly, like the incentives are built in. You're incentivized early to spread it around and to share it. And it's just it's all positive. It's such a beautiful design.
All right, and finally, let's talk about your latest project. You want to create a Bitcoin documentary. There already have been many documentaries, so you're going to tell us how yours is a little bit different. I've personally been in two of them. One of them is called Magic Money, and the other one is called Bitcoin Beyond the Bubble. You guys can Google for these. This is why I actually have an IMBD profile. I need to give one more credit. There is a couple of hold on a second. I'm going to Tone Vays IMBD. It is IMBD, right? No,
Other way, but
IMDb,
it's okay.
Sorry, I got that backwards because I'm dyslexic.
Everyone gets it wrong. Yeah,
yeah. Because the letters are different in the alphabet. Like B and D is always like asked backwards. So this is me in Bitcoin Beyond the Bubble, and that's me in that's me in Bitcoin Magic Money and Beyond the Bubble. So I've been in two of them. Wish this rating was better. It was actually a pretty good movie. Ironically, there's nobody left. Like, if you watch this movie, like, of all the people that were interviewed for this movie, like 10 to 12 people that were interviewed for Magic Money, I am the only one that's still a Bitcoiner. The rest have either disappeared or became total scammy shitcoiners. It's really, really fascinating. I'm the only one that's still around from the Magic Money movie. But that's pretty old. It came out in 2017, filmed in 2016. So tell us about your plan and what you plan to do with this movie.
Yeah, so if you watch the El Salvador documentary, you'll notice that Bitcoin doesn't get mentioned until about halfway through. And the reason is because a lot of people have preconceived notions about Bitcoin already, right? So if you come out the gate with Bitcoin, they may not be interested right off the bat because they think they already know what it's about or that it's a scam or whatever. So the way to approach this film is to do it the same way, to talk about things that anyone can relate with. And so the main focus of this film, and the title is in progress, but is about to like look at time, really, and to have people understand that each generation is working more and more hours just to survive because the cost of everything is going up, and your wage isn't going up as fast. And so, you work more than your father, and your father worked more than his grandfather. And what's going to happen to your kids, and what's going to happen to your grandkids? Like, obviously, this can't go on forever. There must be a head to all this, and history tells us that it's pretty bad. It's mass poverty is basically what this ends in. And so the idea is to lay that out and to help people understand why this is happening, right? Like, whenever I talk to people who don't know anything about money or about Bitcoin, I ask them, why does everything get more expensive? And nobody knows. Like, the best answer that they come up with is inflation. But I'm like, yeah, but that's the same thing. Like, inflation is things getting more expensive. Why are they getting more expensive? So the film will kind of cover that and go through, hey, your time is being stolen, your kids' time even more so. It's because they're printing money. Who's printing the money? Who's getting the money? What kind of effects does it have on the industries that are getting it? And this has happened over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so, is there any other option? And turns out, there is for the first time, and kind of, talk about Bitcoin can't be inflated and why it can't be inflated, and then go through the FUD. Is it a scam? Is it bad for the environment? Is it going to lead to more crime? Like, cover all of that shit. How not to get wrecked, right? And then just end with like, what's the future going to be? Money is all about confidence. So really it's up to you. Do you put your confidence in a money that can be inflated, or do you put your confidence in a money that can't be inflated? So to tell all these things, I'm going to be interviewing 3 generations of people, to have them each talk about quality of life and cost of living. And I'll be interviewing people in America, Canada, Africa, Latin America, just to show people what inflation is like in different parts of the world. And of course, censorship that we've seen in Canada, and there's crazy censorship happening in Africa and a lot of other countries too. And then also interview industry experts, like, people in the food industry, and talk about, hey, what do subsidies and easy money, mean in your industry? It's a consolidation of 4 big, meat producers, and ultimately a sacrifice of quality, and have them kind of talk about, like, what if money couldn't be printed? How would your industry look different? And so yeah, that's the plan in general. There may also be like a little bit of a storyline being animated, like a little backstory about Satoshi's life leading up to publishing Bitcoin, and also like juxtapose that to a banker's life and what their life was like going through some of these major financial milestones. So that's the plan. Up front, talk about things that everyone can relate with. Time, work, life, inflation, censorship, financial censorship, and then go into Bitcoin and how that works. And of course, interview people on both sides, people that are saying, hey, it's bad for the environment, and people that are saying it's good for the environment, and also economists that would say, hey, we need inflation, and economists that would say, no, we need a fixed money supply. So yeah, that's the plan, man. The plan is to have a film that anyone around the world can watch and relate with. And so, yeah, and ultimately the idea is to get it on Netflix or one of these big platforms. I do have a couple of paths in, but those platforms will only consider the film once it's done. But yeah, if you look at my film Comeback Country and you agree with me that the quality of work is, acceptable for Netflix, and it's something that you would imagine seeing on Netflix, then, yeah, I'm very confident that the final product here is going to be something that they want. And yeah, I'm hoping 100 million people see this thing.
All right, awesome. That is a great initiative. Sorry, I want to like play some videos in the background, but your audio started immediately. I was like taking a chance that the first
Rumble
2 seconds wouldn't have had audio. So guys, check it out. All these links are in the video description of this stream. If you are interested in being a supporter of this Bitcoin documentary, you'd get credit as the producer, or I'm not sure how films get like credit for those that helped make them happen. I've only been interviewed for some. I've never really backed any films yet. It's just not my personal expertise. I might get involved in this one though. You and I are going to have a little bit of a chat. I can't wait to have you at Unconfiscatable. Hopefully I'll have some people there that you may want to interview for this documentary, because probably around December is when you're going to be in full-blown shooting, I'm assuming.
Yeah, December will probably be either in finishing production or in post-production. And yeah, on that point, yeah, a few people are already a part of it. And to speak to that a little bit, so 21 Feathered Serpents. The idea is I'm one, and there'll be 20 other investors that contribute $25,000 over 3 different milestones. The idea of a feathered serpent is it was an ancient god who many like civilizations talk about coming to them and teaching them how to be peaceful and bring civilization to the next level. And it's my opinion that Bitcoin is what civilization needs now to get to the next level. So me and the 20 investors will be 21 Feathered Serpents. And so yeah, happy to say Adam Back is one of 20. And there's a few others that I don't know if they want me to mention it publicly that Tone. And so yeah, it's been going really good, man. It's just been awesome to see the people that believe in me and support me. And at this point, with the investment I have already, the film is definitely going to happen. There's definitely more seats to fill, but pre-production actually starts today. So yeah, if anybody out there is interested in being one of 20, please reach out to me. Yeah.
All right, very cool. Yeah, I have your other video that is kind of private. I don't know if you're going to make that public, that describes more of the details for those that are interested in financing the film. There is Mike's Twitter, Bitcoin Shooter. I'm sure you have your DMs probably open. and people can reach out.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Very, very cool. Hey guys, we're gonna I have a couple of questions from people. There's a really good question about whether the current environment reminds me of 2019. Before I do, I'm gonna open one of these packs. You had a couple of packs, Mike. You opened them and you pulled a really, really good card.
Yeah, let me find that one. I got it right here.
I might be trading for one day, so you better keep that in good condition. And I'm getting ready. I think this is going to be the lucky pack, guys. I want the Tone Vays card or the Max Kaiser card. Those are the two big cards that I'm missing, and there it is. He's got the Max Kaiser card. Where you got the packs of Pacific Bitcoin?
Yeah, so Aladdin and I had been in touch when he was producing these. So the cover art that you saw in the Comeback Country, I can't see the numbers here, but like right here it says 3 over here. 3 of 100.
3 of 100, right.
And yeah, so Aladdin actually designed the cover art for Comeback Country and the little business card that I have for it too, which is around here somewhere. And
by the way, Aladdin is the person who he's the founder of this project. And Aladdin, he's been working on this project for quite a while, and it's super cool.
Yeah, and I love the artwork. Like my favorite is the Kraken under the Capitol. I mean, it's
the cry, yeah, I got that one. Let me see if I pulled that one in this current pack. So I already got the pack. Let's go through it. I already see the last card, but I'll leave it for suspense. We got the economics card. I'm gonna look at him through the back. We got I have so many of these. The money printer card, super common. Swan, of course. Geyser, you have Geyser on your website, Mike. I saw that when I was going through it. I've been pulling this card the whole time that I've been opening these packs every day. This looks newish. I don't remember this one. Bill of Rights. I might have had one of these. Cool Bill of Rights card right there. We have, another one. I don't remember this one either. Not Your Keys, Not Your Bitcoin. Haven't pulled that one in a while. We got the Bitcoin mining card. That's pretty good. It's got the volcano. It's got that El Salvador feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. We got the Coinbits card, and I did not get one of the rare cards. I got one of these economics limited edition. There's always one limited edition card. These are the ones that are going to go into a protective case. I'm going to do that now before I screw things up. It is going to go into a protective case. Oh, wait a minute. I want to do it properly. Yep. This way, and I am going to answer your questions, look at the price of Bitcoin, and then I might open one more pack before the show starts. I'm like just on a mission to get one of those rare cards, man. I think I've opened already like 7, 8 packs and not yet. So this box, but it's good and bad, right? There are like super rare cards. So maybe by not getting any of the rare cards, I end up with a super rare card. I should have one of these somewhere. I don't have that one I don't have a lot of that one. I have it somewhere. There it is. All right. So put that aside. So you got the Max Kaiser. How many packs? How many packs did you end up getting to get that Max Kaiser?
Dude, I only got 2 packs and it was in there. And, you know, I'm kind of suspicious that Aladdin kind of set me up and he knew because obviously he knows that, you know, I filmed with Max, and when he was getting Max's okay to put him on the card, you know, I connected him and, you know, I mean, I just shot Max a quick message and said, hey, this is what this guy wants to do. Are you okay with this? And so I'm like, Aladdin probably gave me this thing, but no, I'm sure he had that random. So it's just very interesting, but only 2 packs. But man, Aladdin's a great guy. I mean, not only are the cards such a great idea because, you know, he's distilling different things into very short little messages and drawing people in with incredible designs. But the plan I know on the QR codes in the back is to lead to a more detailed web page. So if people want to drill in deeper on any topic, they can do that in the future. And so I think it's a really great way to educate people. And then on top of that, just like the guys at Start 9, like Aladdin is an amazing person. Like you can just tell he's a super, super cool dude. super generous with his time. Like I really enjoyed meeting him in person and talking to him. And I really hope, that he does well, because it's always good to see good people, be successful. So yeah, this is really fucking awesome, man. I'm so glad that you're on board. I mean, like that you love it too. I know you love trading cards. So it's so cool to see you excited.
This is how many cards I've already collected since I started opening them this week on this stream. And on a hunt for one of those rare cards, I have two of them. I have Adam Meister and Hal Finney. You have the Max Kaiser. There's also the Cypherpunks card. So those are the three cards I'm really trying to get a hold of. All right. Let me get to a couple of questions. Also, my moderators, feel free to throw any other questions into the live chat. We're not going to keep this going long, maybe 5 more minutes. Quick review of your questions. If you have any questions for Mike, throw them in there as well, and I'll ask him while it's on. And let's go back to screen share. And I see one question I want to answer. Also, Mike, he has Unconfiscatable on his schedule. He will be there. I'll make sure of it. And you can meet him over there, hopefully filming for both his documentary and maybe doing a little bit of content for us. So you will get to meet him. And Vegas is pretty close to his hometown. The other event I organize is the Financial Summit taking place in Bali. We'll see. Maybe I can convince him to come there as well. Not Bali, sorry, Dubai this time. The last one was in Bali. And of course, follow us on social media. All right, let me get back to the chart. And there was a very interesting question from PM. Tone, does this pump remind you of 2019 when the OneCoin scam caused Bitcoin to pump above 12,000, the summer before the COVID crash? What could cause a similar pump this year? So it doesn't really remind me of that yet. And it wasn't the OneCoin. I think it was the Plus token. So this is the pump you are talking about. And it doesn't remind me of it yet. Okay. So I believe right now we're sitting closer to this area. So you got to keep in mind that off the breakout, we broke the moving averages and ran into an MRI resistance line 100 and over 100% above the breakout point. If we take this back to the very low, that's almost 200% above the breakout point. Now, I understand that we are starting at a much higher price. So 100 and 200% is unlikely. But if we now look at the breakout point to the current price, it's only 40%. And we're still sitting at this resistance. So at worst case scenario, the current area of where we're topping is approximately where we were topping at $8,000 back in 2019. And as you can see, we hit an MRI resistance line. We hit an MRI second consecutive sell. And I anticipated a clean pullback down into the moving averages with the crossover. That's what I would have been expecting. I mean, you can find those videos, and I'm sure this is what I would have said. A pullback to here, and then a nice clean rise. But what got me really concerned, and you can see those videos that I did with Ugly Old Goat this week in June, I said, this is ridiculous. Bitcoin is going to crash hard because of the way it got overexposed. So right now, we are still in reasonable levels. Even this area here in May was way overextended on Bitcoin than the current situation was. Look, the RSI was already at a top. The CMF was actually pretty high. If we look at it today, we're nowhere near those levels, right? Even if you compare this May area, you can see how the RSI has breached 70. The MACD is in bullish territory, though not topping. The CMF is way up. If we look at it today, the CMF is barely above zero. The RSI is stuck in the middle, and the MACD is still below zero. So we're not even at extreme levels the way we were, and then we went beyond that. So we would need a break literally to $30,000. We would need to go up another 7K or so. We need to be sitting here at like 70K, 30K, sorry, at 30K or above in order for me to consider the end of May, early June situation in Bitcoin 2019 to be comparable to the current situation. But that's a really, really good question. All right, Mike walked away from the screen for a second, but I will get him. Wilson, Mike, Wilson Dillard has a question for you. Are you going to interview Bukele for the film? Well, I think that one is a little bit hard. You couldn't get him for the El Salvador film, but Bukele did retweet your El Salvador film, so hopefully you are in contact with him. I am in contact with one of his family members. I'm not going to say who, so I could make the intro as well, but I'm sure you have better connections, including Max Kaiser, to connect you to Bukele himself. Is that something that's possible?
It is something that's possible. It's not something that's for sure. I did attempt to interview him when I was there this last November, but that didn't pan out. But as you say, yeah, he follows me on Twitter. He's aware of me. He's reposted the film, and he's reposted a couple of other things that I've put on Twitter since then. So yeah, I think if I'm going to interview him for the next film, it'll probably be related to the IMF. I think that's the component that he'll talk about. If he'll talk about it, he's been outspoken, so I don't see why not. But yeah, that'll be part of the plan to interview him. And I do have a few contacts, and hopefully I can line that up. And if it doesn't work out, Tone, then I'll have you pull some strings too, maybe.
I will do my best.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna stop. I am gonna open one more pack. I just want to get one of those rare cards, man. I think I need to have a Latin on the show. If I don't get a good card in this pack, next week I'm gonna get a Latin on the show, and we're gonna discuss why I'm not getting any good cards. And watch, the first pack I open is gonna be some super rare card. And there's one more thing I was gonna say. Bitcoin dominance. I was asking you to look at Bitcoin dominance. So one of these days, I'm going to stop doing a million things and I'm going to get back to actual research, or maybe I'll talk to Crypto Quant because I interviewed them lately. I don't want to look at Bitcoin dominance because I hate the Bitcoin dominance index. I have some expertise in making indices. I also worked at MSCI for a little while, which is a company that makes indices. I helped with the Brave New Coin BLX index. Here's what we need from a Bitcoin dominance index. I'm just going to open either CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. Let's go to CoinGecko. They're friends of mine. CoinGecko. Here's what I need from a Bitcoin dominance index. I need two things. I need, first of all, the Bitcoin dominance index should only be around top 20 to top 25 cryptos. I see Monero is at 26. So maybe it should go a little bit past Monero, because like, as much shit as I give Monero, it is certainly one of the least scammiest projects in the crypto space, probably up there, along with Litecoin as some of the more honest attempts to do something silly. So maybe go top 30 because some people are still fanatical over Btrash and Stella. So it has to be limited to top X. It has to remove all of the stable coins. So USD Tether, USDC cannot be part of the formula. Okay, that's an absolute must. And the last thing that the Bitcoin dominance index needs is an adjustment for actual usability and velocity of the token. So what you need to do is you need to take a look at how many transactions there are on chain. You can't just use the market cap, because your market cap, like Cardano, has like 18 gazillion coins. Okay. And I think like 80% of them are held by one person. I'm just not going to name the person. So none of that actually matters. Like they can't move them. They can't sell them. So you have to have metrics of how often this token is being used and how much, the transaction fees are, like that needs to be factored into the formula. So if, for example, Ethereum starts actually being used quite a bit, it would have a higher weighting in the Bitcoin dominance index. Like if there are more Ethereum transactions taking place on chain than there are Bitcoin transactions, then the Ethereum market cap would actually have a greater weighing than 1-to-1. So the Ethereum market cap right now is what, $200 billion. And what I would do is I would take this 200 billion and I would adjust it based on how many transactions are taking place on chain with Ethereum and what kind of fees it's generating. And if that is actually greater than Bitcoin, then you adjust this by a percentage that is positive. So Ethereum would represent like $250 billion against Bitcoin's market cap. On the flip side, if something like Dogecoin, which has a $12 billion market cap, but no one is using it, this would be adjusted down. So it wouldn't represent 12 billion or 13 billion if you round up of against Bitcoin's market cap. It would be more like 3 billion because that's really what it's worth. So somehow you have to adjust it for the big holder. There's at least one person, potentially, his name is Elon Musk, that is holding like $5 billion worth of Dogecoin, but he can't sell it. He can't sell five. There's no market for $5 billion worth of Dogecoin. So somehow that has to be removed from Bitcoin dominance. And if someone can give me that kind of Bitcoin dominance index, it would actually be meaningful, because then you can see Bitcoin's dominance rising as Bitcoin usage goes up versus shitcoins whose usage is actually going down while their price is rising, right? Because it's not about the price, it's about how liquid that token is. And in Bitcoin, for example, I know you could only do 7 transactions on chain per second, but if the fee on those transactions goes up, that means there's more demand for those, for those 7 transactions per second. So Bitcoin dominance should actually rise, which means that it's easy to get out and exit your Bitcoin position. So if someone can create that kind of a Bitcoin dominance index, I would be very, very interested in that. And that would be incredible in tracking whether Bitcoin is rising versus shitcoins or falling versus shitcoins. I don't know anyone who would design that. I'm happy to discuss it with some kind of a quant team to do it, or maybe one day my team will do it. Okay, that was a very long-winded discussion. All right, on that note, I'm going to open one more pack and we're going to let Mike go. Let's go. Let's see. I have a good feeling about this one. It's completely random, actually. I know Aladdin was not happy. He created like 15 super rare cards, like one super rare card of Max Kaiser, one super rare card of me, and then he wanted to not to put them in packs. He wanted to just give them to me and Max Kaiser and like the other special people, but the card manufacturer didn't let him. They're like, no, that's not fair. You have to put those in packs. So he actually wasn't happy at all that the manufacturer forced him not to be able to. I have not seen the back card here yet, so it could be a good card. So far, I have not seen it. I managed to open this pack without screwing up and seeing it. We got a Freedom card. Has the decentralization lattice on that. We have an Education card. I have this one as a 1 of 500, somewhat rare cards, but not the super rare ones like me and Max Kaiser. A Swan again. I'm going to be giving these out. I'm going to try to make as many complete sets as I can, and then we'll like raffle them off on Unconfiscatable or something. Coinbase card. I got a somewhat rare card. I think this is 1 of 999. This is the 3rd one that I have of the blockchain card. We have the Bear Markets card. I did not get the Kraken, but I got a similar one, a currency card with like a Titanic going down, or the looks like the Capitol building going down with the US dollar. Got a FOMO card. Cool looking FOMO card. Got an influencer card of, is that a John McAfee on there? Huh. Looks like Gandhi is on there as well, some economists. And, oh, wow, I did get a rare card. This is the rare education card, but I have one of these. So this is certainly I'm gonna go into the Telegram group, and I am gonna offer this for a trade. And we're gonna have to do a little swap. So yeah, this is definitely gonna be tradable because I already have one of these. Let me find it. This is my second one. Here it is. Boom, I got two of these now. So this is certainly available for trading. It's a 1 of 500 card. So it is pretty rare. I'm gonna put it in a special case. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people watching this stream that are in the Trading Cards Telegram group who will likely be messaging me if this is the card that you need, and it's in pretty damn good condition. Done. All right, Mike, I'm going to go back to screen share with your stuff. Go ahead and say your closing thoughts.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I hope everybody out there just watches my work and enjoys it. That's really the best part about creating something. And that's why I actually got into filmmaking, is because I saw that it inspires emotions. It used to be like comedic stuff when I was a kid making home movies. But now it's a bit more, meaningful and inspiring. And so, yeah, especially if you know anybody that's Salvadoran, like share the film with them. I mean, I can't tell you how many Salvadorans have come up to me and like thanked me for helping, share their story and telling me how much it means to them. So, I just hope for most of you out there, you just enjoy the work. More is coming. If you have the means and interest to help me make this next film a reality, definitely reach out. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy the show.
All right. Hey, man, thanks so much for joining me on the stream. I gotta bring on some more guests every now and then just to keep the show livelier. And hopefully I'll see you soon in person.
Absolutely. I got the carnivory dinner ticket, so I'm definitely going to be there at Unconfiscatable for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. Hey, guys,
Thanks,
thank you all
Tone.
so much for watching. And I will see you all on the next one. All of Mike's links are in that video description. Bye, guys.